everybody, as we transition in this evening live. And we're about 27 minutes away from the daily close here on this Tuesday. We had a pretty basic day with Bitcoin, pretty much staying within the same range, but it does have a inverse head and shoulders set up. It back tested what I would consider like a neckline back test of this inverse head and shoulders consolidation. So you have a shoulder, head, shoulder, breakout, back test. And now we should continue on our way, and the technical target should get us somewhere near 72K if this plays out. XRP, couple others are set up in a pretty similar fashion, which it's one of those questions. Are we moments away from a 15% surge here? As we do have an inverse pattern set up. XRP is still trying to get over this resistance. Still trying to see if we can push out into that E wave. If it is an A, B, C, D, E correction, I wouldn't consider it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Elliott wave, I would consider it a B, C, D, E until we can otherwise determine that it's not just a correction. If it was an A, B, C, it would have ended there. But the fact that it bounced down and looks like it held a D wave and is not broken down seems to lead a little bit of credibility that we can break out here. And pretty much like we've seen with XDC move out, it looks like we should be able to move out of here unless we were to break that $1.33. But this was what you see right here, it's not technically an inverted hammer candle. The wick did pull down, but this is a sign of a reversal, and it is based on the next candle to see if we can get a hold and then a follow through. So right now we pulled down, push back up into the body. And if we can close like this in the next 25 minutes, that next candle could be a breakout candle. So when this daily candle closes, we very well could find ourselves in a pump situation and push our way up to the E wave. Unless this breaks down, that's what I anticipate happening. Unless this breaks down, which it very well could, I anticipate for something like that to happen. Much like I've been saying for the better part of 2 weeks, that XDC didn't finish out its move. And it needed to expand out, and now we see XDC today is up about 10%. It's starting to make that little bit of movement now. It had itself a nice little inverse pattern, pulled all the way down to this expanding, broadening wedge, or expanding channel, and then it back tested it, pushed out, and now it's starting its move. It's starting to move up. And if it's going to consolidate after today, I would expect the rest of the market to maybe follow suit here. If you don't think that XDC is an anomaly right now, and the fact that all day it's hovered around this 200 day gives us a lot of hope. It really gives us a lot of hope. We've got a lot of them that are set up in a very similar fashion if we're going to break out. So definitely something we're going to touch base on a lot this evening. Same thing happened. You had the inverse head and shoulder push out, created another formation breakout, back test. And we did not give this away. We held this. Looks like another inverse setup possibly starting here. Is it dangerous? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it is. Is everybody going to be wanting to take a gamble? Oh, no. And would I encourage it now? Not yet. But what I'm saying is there's a chance. Now, it's either we're going to do that or the bottom's just going to fall out. So we're going to go over that very deeply here in this live. We're going to look at it from every angle. Right now, Bitcoin is our friend if it can hold this setup and hold that neckline consolidation like it's done so beautifully today. Because in reality, that's exactly what this is. So what you want to do if you're looking for confirmation, so we have a shoulder into here, down to a head, into another shoulder. So you have the short wave, shoulder, head, shoulder, push up, back test of what the short-term neckline would be in here. If you're looking at it from here with the shoulder, head, shoulder, in the short term, that would be your back test confirmation. Yes, you have a wider pattern coming all the way through, but it's technically, oh wow, I just made that so messy no one's going to be able to see it. But it's technically this back end that I'm talking about that created this short-term inverse head and shoulders. And that's where we've back tested this neckline, and this would be the continuation instead of just a fake out. What better way than the propagation of war when a lot of people are nervous? Probably wouldn't think twice about even looking at a risk asset. And what we talked about this morning was expect the unexpected. And that is a bona fide back test right now of that short-term inverse head and shoulders breakout with a back test. So you have shoulder, head, shoulder, breakout, back test. So you have a resistance up here, come across here, come through, back tested perfectly, double bottomed, and now it's just waiting for a breakout candle. So is this going to be resistance? Or is this going to be a breakout? Just like XRP. Is this going to be a resistance overwhelmingly that drops the bottom out? Or are we going to get the breakout finally? That's something we're going to watch in real time together. As of right now, it's being used as resistance. This was a breakout attempt, but as you can see how it pulled down and then the wick came through, the bears drove the price back down. But as you see right here, pulled back up the bulls, and there are some buyers in the area. So it's definitely going to be something interesting. Dear Tom, I love buying stuff no one else talks about. SKR, not financial advice, but I'm enjoying it. I don't even know what that is. Be honest with you, I have no idea what that is. I'm glad that you're enjoying what you're buying. Honestly, it's nice to buy what nobody else is talking about. It is. I like that. So as long as you know what you're doing, and clearly you know what you're doing. But as far as this goes for XRP, get over $1.37, and that would be our first signal that, okay, here we go. And it's like, it feels like we've been projecting this for days on end. But Frankie Fresh, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge. I hope you and Janine are having a fantastic night. Janine, love you. Hope you're having a blessed evening. Hope Botanicals, totally awesome. And JG, thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor. William Hayes, 6+ months in the XRP Predictor. Crazy pullover 1 year with the I Told You So Bad with UK Phil. Bye, Scar. Bye, everybody. Knick Knack, Paddywhack, welcome in. Ayushin, good evening. What do I think about silver? Depends. I seen a Head and Shoulders building here, which looks like it built it out. But we also had that inverse setup on the bottom. So is this a breakdown or is this a consolidation? That's something we're going to watch, as the days go on. But we know we've never back tested 53. Not saying it's going to go to $53 guaranteed, but we've never tested that area. So be interesting. It's going to be interesting with silver. Because if it doesn't break over and we got a rejection around that $94 level, that's a prototypical rejection on a Head and Shoulders pattern. So I don't hate silver. I love silver overall. It's just I don't know if it's going to break out and be able to get past that 94 and ultimately 99 to overtake that and push back bullish, or if that was a right shoulder form. So just something to consider when you're eyeing silver right now. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, the miners got smoked today. I took them off the list for a reason during these last couple days because I didn't want to feed into anybody buying them. They got smoked. They were down 10 to 15% pretty much across the board. Some of them came back to about 8%, but they got smoked. That's typical, though. They smoked the miners. 9.6% down for PLG. AG's down 10.2% on the day. Fortuna Silver Mines. Fortuna Silver Mines was down 9.5%. B2 Gold was getting smoked earlier as well. Down 8.6%. So, yeah, they got smoked today. Well, that's why I said I wouldn't advise anybody to buy the miners at that exact moment. And if you look at the oil stocks, that tells you something here, too. Oil had a surge. But the oil stock, Northern Oil and Gas, was barely up, not even 0.75%, and Murphy's was up like 0.14%. So that's an interesting dilemma right there when you have the price of like oil or commodities rising, but the price doesn't meet it. That oftentimes means exhaustion sometimes in the actual oil or the metal itself. But speaking of exhaustion, that's why we're looking to see if XRP, the bears are being exhausted right now, because this was a sign of Well, we tried to break out. The bears took control. But wait a minute. The bulls stepped in late. So there is some buying pressure here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Was this bearish in nature? I don't necessarily think that's an inverted hammer. It pulled down too far. But the way this is pulled up shows at least that there's a few buyers in the area. So there's a few buyers in the area. But that's neither here nor there. Let's do the intro. Good evening. 6:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, once again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Earlier, we were on for about 2.5 hours. It was pretty cool, though. We had about 130 to 150 people until I was getting ready to log off. So it's definitely a pretty crowded area. Right now, there's 104 people, which I'm shocked that so many people came on. How many people came in here, to be honest with you, this evening again after such a long live earlier? Nick Knack, welcome in, says, unbelievable how much time you're in here, Tom. Giving your time, dedication, my friend. Thanks. You're welcome. That goes for all you too who are in here. That's why I give my time. Yeah, I do a lot of work. I acknowledge that. That's why, the members you see part of Tom's Army and the ones who pay it forward, super chat and all that good stuff, taking the classes, makes it that much more special because people are trying to take advantage of what I can offer. So, I do appreciate it on a very profound level. Let's see. What else? I'm going to pull this closer. But as far as what we're looking for in the next 15 minutes, just getting through this candle. Try not to pull this back too far. Bitcoin's got plenty of room in the 4-hourly. It broke past the resistance in the stochastic, which is a generally good sign. Darius says, good evening, and please review XDC. I went heavy when you said at 0.031. Yeah, great buy. I thought it was undervalued. I'm not saying the rally's over, but I do bounce in and out of these, especially with current circumstance with my son and yada yada. I'm not even going to get into it. But I've been putting more and more money to the side on these swing trades because his medical just went out the fucking roof. I don't know how much it's going to be, $700-800 a month at minimum now. But he needs special medical care, so, I got to pay a little over the top. Can't do the government assistance with Medicaid because they just try to control it too much. But Julie could if she wanted to, but it's out of pocket. So I've been strategically doing these in and out. So what I did was down here, as you guys know, boom, to the 200-day was my first resistance, so I sold. And now I want to see how it reacts. If it breaks out and it just breaks out, there's nothing I can do about it. I still think it could come up to the C. But my anticipation was once it came up to the 200-day that it'd get kind of stuck here. And then it should back test somewhere around here. Not saying it's worth buying and selling, obviously. But we all have our own agendas. So from the 200-day back down, that's about a 4% move back down. And then if we can see a confirmed hold there, that would be great. But now, if it wants to consolidate a little bit, now we're looking for the rest of the market to see how it stacks up. V-chain, we'd be looking for a breakout. So I'm not telling you guys to sell. I'm not a financial advisor. Everybody's circumstance is different. So I'm not telling you to sell it. Believe me. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm very transparent. And I'm looking for the next opportunity right now. I see an inverse head and shoulders set up on H-bar. It's almost beautiful. Not almost, it's perfect as of right now. And I do think that these are ahead of... See, this is the thing. It's not that we can't look at XDC for the guiding stone because these already made that move, some of these, before XDC. So basically, these are the guiding stone for the next move for XDC. So we had a shoulder, head, shoulder, breakout. And this was after the initial shoulder, head, shoulder push out, back test. So when it created simultaneous inverse pattern again. And now if it holds that 918, I mean, you're talking about a surge that would bring you up into that area somewhere. Somewhere probably around 12 cents. So it'd be a pretty healthy move there. That's why I keep saying, are we just moments away from a 15% move? And it's not what we just seen. It's not what we just seen with XDC, because XDC needed to come up here. The other ones had already come up here. So now would we get the same kind of consolidation for XDC we seen before? Only time will tell. But we have opportunities across the board. XLM down 2.74%. But again, we created these inverse patterns, push out, back test, creating an inverse pattern on the consolidation. So it makes me feel like, are we just moments away from something bigger happening here across the board? This definitely seems like more than noise here, if I'm being honest. Because the more I go through these charts, the more I'm seeing it all across the board. XRP, shoulder, head, shoulder. And even in the short micro time frames, you see it. Does that mean it has to pan out? No. No, sirree. It doesn't mean it has to. But I want to get to 7 o'clock. What sucks is on Saturday, the clocks move back, and now the close won't be until 8 after Saturday in the Sunday, which sucks. The Triple X, yes, indeed, Plant Good Seas. Mario, welcome in. Can you look at Kaito? I don't even know what that is, and I no offense, but I don't have the brain power for it this evening. Too much stuff to talk about. Crypto Plumber, welcome in, and thanks for being in town during 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Yo, currently knee deep in mud fixing a water leak, listening to Sir Thomas. XRP. Oh, man. Hopefully that goes well for you. Hopefully that goes well for you, my friend. Good luck with that. That can't be easy. That certainly can't be easy. So, my question to my audience, do you think that this inverse pattern and some of this is going to play out, or do you think we're just going to fall right out? I would love to hear your analysis, because a lot of people are getting caught up with, can XDC tell us what's happening? But as I've been stating, XDC, the reason I thought that move could happen and it was a better play than most is it was behind. It was behind. XRP going to go crazy when Trump signs the bill. Yeah, crazy to shit. No, I'm just kidding. Are we talking about the Clarity Act? Plant Good Seas, welcome in. But this is a great time to watch. The people that are straggling and leaving, they know not why they're leaving. They don't even know why they tuned in to begin with. The 4 hourly, or the 2 hourly, I mean, not exactly the most exclusive candle. But again, these act as hold candles if it's going to go higher. The Clarity Act, okay. I'm not a fan of the Clarity Act, so I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't like the Clarity Act. There's so much bullshit in there that goes against retail. It's great for institutions and banks, I won't lie. Banks and institutions are going to feast. But for retail, it's a nightmare. It takes away a lot of our power. Taxes get increased. There's a lot more leverage for them to steal our crypto. I'm not even joking. There's a lot of back-end ways for them to get into our crypto. If you're in a cold wallet, that all goes away because then it'll be KYC'd. Or they're just going to take it if you don't do it. So it definitely lends a stronger play for the banks and institutions, but it kind of leaves us shortchanged, if I'm being honest. So there's no way for me that a market that was designed to be unregulated, there's no way you can make it regulated and say it's going to have the same effect. In my opinion. Arichi Farms, welcome in, and thanks for being in town for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Frankie Freshes for a nice... Yeah, we can definitely have an exit style pump. There's no doubt about that, but where does it come from? You know, what's the price? But I'm seeing some confliction here, though, you know. We still need to get past this major area, and I just don't want everybody to think that this is going to come up just because of what XDC did. Remember, the only reason we thought XDC was a better play than the rest is because it hadn't come up here and did the C wave. Or at least come up here to the 2 hour or the 4 hourly. Not our spot. Oh, you want an exit pump? You might get that. You might get that, but I'm not a financial advisor, everybody. So like, I know everybody wants me to be like, hey, nay. I am not a financial advisor, and I can get into a lot of trouble if I just tell you what to do. I can advise in a way through the charts and be like, hey, maybe this can happen, but I can't just be like, hey, John, or hey, Bill, or hey, Louise, or hey, Bob, or Mario, or Will. I want you to buy right here. I put myself into a lot of legality trouble in 2021, but I was fortunate enough to be right. Imagine if I would have told everybody to sell XRP at $1.66 on that right shoulder. Everybody listened to me, and then it went up to $10. You think somebody would have been knocking at my door with a lawsuit? So I learned, what does clarity matter? I'm just being honest, bold. What does clarity matter? If they're going to pass regulations, what the hell is the point of getting clarity in an unregulated market if they're just going to regulate it anyhow? It seemed like a waste of time, for being honest with ourselves. If they were just going to regulate the market anyhow, what's the point of getting clarity for XRP? It doesn't make any sense. That whole play, you can't regulate the whole market and have the same rules for everybody if you want XRP to be out and above. Great question. That's a great question, actually. Oh no, I'm not directing meanness at you. I'm directing like just a pure question. That's a great question. I don't think anybody's asked me it like that. Honestly, Bold, that is a great question. Because if we're looking for XRP to be the one that has clarity without rules and regulations in place, and then they put the Clarity Act, does that defeat the purpose of the regulation or the clarity that we have? I like that question a lot. Sorry if it sounded a little strong. I was literally talking it out to myself to see what it sounded like. It's a good, honestly, if you take that deeper than the surface, that's a good question. Does it take away from the fact that XRP is the one with clarity right now if they're going to put clarity in for the rest of the market by regulation? Literally, that's a good thing to think about. What do you guys think about that? Oh, thanks, Bold. I just didn't want you to think I was yelling at you because I feel like I'm talking over everybody right now for some reason. I don't know why my voice is so loud. I can't figure it out. Big Dog says Clarity Act is the death of crypto. That's my unfortunate belief as well. Honestly, man, these candles, every time it comes up there, it puts in a little bit of a bearish style doji, but it hasn't followed through yet. So let's see. Yes, honestly, the Clarity Act will make XRP a security again. Oh, somebody's talking. And funny enough, XDC is like the only one given the laws that wouldn't be a security. Do you know why that is with XDC? Since you're damn smart, totally awesome. And thanks for being in town over 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Do you know why that is? Clink Dunbar, welcome in, and thanks for being in town over 6 months with the XP Predictor along with Big Dog. But if it gives us the pump, I'm all in. Yeah, but Frankie Fresh, are you willing to sell your soul to get a small pump? Just to kill crypto over a small pump. You know that small pump won't even make everybody whole. Oh, I know you know exactly why. Yes, I like that plan. Let's take a moment to breathe. In through the mouth. Out through the nose. Now I want you to reverse it. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. We'll do this 5 times so I can get back on track. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. 2 more times. This is good for clarity. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. 1 more time. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Now I want everybody to lean their shoulders and everything up. Act like you're shrugging your shoulders. This is a good way to burn stress. Relieve the tension. Put your shoulders up. Neck back. And as you exhale, shrug forward. Let that tension go. Let that tension go. Who said that? In through the nose. Thank you, Plant Good Seas. And thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Definitely help bring the center of balance back. Big Dog, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I greatly appreciate that. And also in times under 6+ months with the XP Predictor. We're back already. Yes, Nick Nack says clarity is more control for them. I agree. Neilio says it's really the institutions that need the Clarity Act so they can enter the market. I completely agree with that. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, you're right, Frankie. There's nothing we can do to stop it. You're absolutely right about that. You are right about that. We need some volume in the market. Melomania, correct. Anything short of volume, these rallies end up getting just destroyed. And that's why I want to see if XDC, because I know a lot of people are looking at XDC and saying, I'm just going to buy anything right now because it's pumping. But XDC came up, and yeah, it was ahead, and then it backed down. So maybe, it is one step ahead in that sense. And then we can see if in the 4-hourly, if we look at it like this. But notice, once you go to the 4-hourly, you can tell it wasn't ahead because it never came up to the 200-day. The rest of them came up to the 200, bounced back down. Some of them are straddling it right now, like H-Bar and a couple others. Yeah, I know it's something to take advantage of, and we will, or I'll try. It's just, that's a sombering feeling because while you're sitting there that, in essence, it's killing us. And it's a scary thought. I think they're gonna start the draft again in the USA, and I base that on one comment that was made about Barron Trump. Did you hear this line of horse shit? I'm sorry if you like Trump. I like Trump, but from a business standpoint, not a political standpoint, because he agreed with the Fed and the central banks. They said Barron Trump can't go to war because he's too fucking tall. He's too tall. So he can't be drafted. I mean, do we live in the fucking La La Land here? Do we just accept that for face value? So keep yourself safe, but I mean, come on. When I heard that, I said, do they really think we're that stupid? Now he's too tall? I didn't realize giants couldn't go to war. Back in the day, they'd put the tall 7 and 6, 10, 7-foot people on the front lines to try to, shield. Oh, you've had plenty. Look at all the NBA players back in the old days that were 7 feet tall. And all the sports athletes that were going that could barely walk because they were so tall. And wrestlers and all these people. So, I don't know, man. So, the fact they said that leads me to believe that they're actually going to start the draft. And the women in my audience, like I've been saying, don't give away your position. You want to be like a man. You don't want to be like a man. God made you beautiful for a reason, not hideous like us. You're not. Man. Only need a draft for unpopular wars. Trump would be all for it now that he shit on his I know, constituents. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Oh, I get it too. I can't chip out myself because I went through ROTCs and stuff through the Marines, and everything was good until they tested my eyes and stuff. And then they said, sir, you can't see shit. You can't even see what you're shooting. So, that was a long time ago, though. So, I'm out. I can't go. Plus, I got a whole bunch of problems. Wrong. 1970 legend, welcome on Crypto Cooter, and thanks for being very trusted mods and in Tom's earned for over 1 year. But I don't want to turn this political. That's just some scary stuff if you have kids and stuff. Obviously, my son won't be able to go because he's special needs. But I'm just curious, like, did that sink in with everybody? Like when they said that Barron Trump can't go to war because he's too tall, so he wouldn't be able to be drafted. Did anybody let that sink in what that actually meant? Like they're telling us without telling us that they could bring back a draft. That's it. That's actually a scary proposition. A very scary proposition. I know we have a lot of people in the military in my audience. Some retired, some not, some active. I know a few of members like John Hall, his son got um enacted to go to war. Basically, they sent him on a mission. He had genetics for bone spurs. I mean, whatever they gotta say, right? Whatever they gotta say. Um, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But you wouldn't expect them to go fight, right? They can enact the war, but they won't fight. Um, Crypto crew to that was. Oh yeah, bone spurs for Trump. You're right about that. Be glad he got elected. Um, yeah, the bone spurs. I didn't even think about that, but you're right about that. The bone spurs. Now we're past 7 o'clock. Let's see. Better hang on to your diapies, everybody, as old Tommy Pickles used to say. It's gonna get a little dirty around here. Treacherous. But let's see. Let's see if XRP and crypto has something in store for here. It's all gonna base around Bitcoin. Can Bitcoin hold this tug down if it has one, and keep valid what looks like an inverse setup here and a breakout to the neckline back test? Obviously, there could be a small moment down, even if it's going to hold. But this is going to be our key. Can Bitcoin break out of this? Can we find some kind of volume anywhere? Can we look under the rock, over the mountain, in the deep blue sea? Where do we find that volume? Where do we find this volume? I was just looking to see if anything else came across. Because there's always breaking news. Let's see. You know, let's see. WOIF Army Bet. So, I don't see any other news breaking out right now. I don't see anything else. But thank you for your Who said that? Lonzo, thank you for your service in the Army. We're blessed to have you in here. We are blessed to have you in here. I'm glad you're here with us too. Very glad. Very, very glad. Why 7 p.m. a big deal? Abu Dhabi. No, it's a big deal because it's the daily close. So if we're gonna get some volatility, we had a nice hold the whole day in the daily. And now we needed to wait until 7 o'clock for that candle to flip to see if we're gonna get that upward tug now. That's all. And if you see where we closed, we're over that little section here, over the resistance. And we also are starting basically above that support structure. So that's why I'm 5 minutes behind on this live. Trump doing great. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about politics, and I'm not going to belittle or embrace. I don't want to get the whole audience to leave. I don't talk politics for a reason. But double inside bar on the daily. If it is, if that's a double inside bar, I mean, it's all about this candle right now. If it flips green, we're going to cook. But obviously, if it breaks down on this inside, the double inside bar, kind of, you're kind of right about that, actually, the way it closed, didn't it? I mean, technically, what an interesting spot it closed at. Because it's technically below it, but in the daily, you can see it a slightly different way. We're still trying to get past that $1.37. Shit, I gotta go break over, take care. Damn, Furby. Appreciate it, my friend, and good luck at the... I hope the rest of your shift goes good, and I appreciate you tuning in for as much as you could. And thanks for being a very trusting mod here, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Garrus, good evening, and thanks for being in town zone for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. God, I would love to just say this is going to break up and finish this. But I don't know. I don't know where this consolidation is going to hit because there's no way it's just going straight up after the close. Generally, if it's going to go up, you'll have to sweep real quick, which is why you never really want to trade before the close if you're going to buy in, especially if you expect it to be in the consolidation area. Good evening, Bright Future Freedom, and thanks for being in town zone 6+ months with the XP Predictor. I know I couldn't scroll all the way to the top, but I remember I seen Juan was in here. So Juan, thanks for being in town zone for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge as well. I just happened to notice your comment when I had first logged on, so. But everybody else I didn't get to. I greatly appreciate you just as much. It's just I don't have time to go all the way back up. And it reset my tablet, so I'll have to refresh it again. But I want to kind of stay in this in the moment. Bitcoin at 68,212. And the whole day it's acted as a hold. So the whole day we've acted as a hold candle. And right now, I mean, honestly, unless it breaks down, you're looking at a perfect back test of that neckline. Shane, welcome in. Been focusing hard. I've been looking a lot at H-bar as well because it's got this breakout back test area as well. And it back tested this upper line perfectly. Now, I understand that's just where I drew it across, but it stayed over it back tested right here. And if this continues, we're looking at a breakout of about 15 to 20% here. And as of right now, it hasn't given it away. And I know we need to get a spike here, but I've seen a lot worse setups in my time. And this looks like it's got a real chance here to start pushing. It's going to be dependent, obviously, on Bitcoin and what happens across the market. But right now, this one looks like a bigger inverse head and shoulders. We have the short term that I heightened there. But if you look at it in the grand scale, you got shoulder, head, shoulder, mini inverse pattern inside of a mini inverse pattern inside of a right shoulder and inside of the head. I mean, opportunity comes to those who are willing to listen to the call. And it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but this is a time where we really, 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 really need to come together right now. We have 109 people. Let's put our heads together. Let's not be pessimists. Let's come up with a plan here. I want to, yes or no. Is this a possibility it's going to break out? And if you say no, you're willing to acknowledge that it's not going to hold this area of resistance or it's not going to be able to get past it for XRP. But do you think as a market, with the triple X HOD, do you think our tokens are going to be able to break out here? So, did you see XDC was hosting an RWA summit with all the big players? DTCC Embassy of Switzerland, Franklin Templeton, you name it, a Gordon Ramsay dinner. Interesting. In London? Interesting. AI Show, welcome in. And thank you for saying yes. I'm glad that you helped. Oh, Fear and Greed dropped to 10. Well, that's good news. Remember earlier, I was a little disappointed that it rose. Because that just reset at 7. Excellent. You know, that's a better sign. That's a better sign. John Patak says yes. Shane says, I used to think my vote actually meant something until I woke up to reality. It was much easier to be ignorant. I, I can't argue with that. They say ignorance is bliss, right? Mike Goggs Mel's welcome in. Walt Thomas, I think we're all screwed like my wife when she's left with my neighbors. Getting that little nitty gritty in, huh? But Mike, we've missed you. I've missed you. I missed that sense of humor as well. I missed that sense of humor, my friend. Maybe I'll come on for the Speedo so that I can get you all hot and bothered, huh? We'll show your wife. I love it. I love Mike. Mike's one of my favorites, hands down. Fear and Greed chose 20 for you. Interesting. Where the what Fear and Greed are you looking at, 1970 Legend? And if there's a little shrinkage, Mike, I swear it was a cold shower. Let's see. But where are you seeing 20 at 1970 Legend? Market cap, okay. So I wonder if that's taking out, is that including Bitcoin in there as well, or is that in the market cap? Is it showing? Is it including everything? That I like to look at the Fear and Greed Index over the coin market cap. I just feel like it's more accurate. But some of them weighs it a little bit different. Um, I'm glad you heard that. Let's see. I hope we're not that screwed. He puts it in a nice perspective, doesn't he? Saying people actually believe there's a Republican. I mean, see, isn't it crazy, Shane, when your eyes are opened up and you see they're both sides of the same puppet? Oh, trust me, Mike, we miss you just as much. I know a lot speak just the way I do. A lot of people love you in this community. A lot of people ask about you when you're not in here too, which is the biggest compliment someone could get, I believe, in a community. You know who I often wonder about too is Miss Vicky. I wonder what happened to Miss Vicky, if she's still doing well. One of our most long-standing members, but was going through a bit of a financial thing and had to work a lot of extra hours and, just couldn't really be around. I often wonder what happened to her. I hope she's doing good. I know there was a lot of stuff going on that side. I think she's over on the other part of it, like in the European zones. But I often wonder what happened to her. I hope you're watching, Miss Vicky, somewhere out in the abyss and you're doing okay. Mr. Stott, Dan Marginal, welcome and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Mr. Stott, I hope Mrs. Stott is doing good. I know sometimes it's around dinner time when I come in at night too. Find the AI controversy with government interesting. Whoever gets that contract for weapons tech is going to see a lot of money move that way in the future. You are right about that. Bright future. That's actually pretty scary, to be honest with you. Pretty scary. Now, what do you think happens? Who gets that AI contract when it comes to defense and military as well? That's my biggest question. Like, is this going to be the arms race? Whoever gets the AI side of it too? Like, that's going to put, man, oh man. It is scary, Bright. And thanks for being in Tom's 6+ months with the XP Predictor. That's why I hold a lot of weight and solace in this community, because we can do this together at least. Everybody's like, what's your gut feeling, Tom? I mean, until these inverse head and shoulders break down, I haven't really changed my gut feeling, that's for sure. Nothing's really changed my mind as of right now. I still see that inverse head and shoulders breakout. I mean, that's a bona fide back test if you wanted to draw a neckline of the most recent area right here. We had a shoulder, head, shoulder. From the top down, back test. Fuck. And hey. That lizard fuck Sam Altman won government AI in my opinion. Oh man, don't go. I hope it's not him, but that's what I've been hearing. That's who I've been hearing is Sam Altman is the one who's going to win that. Oh man, if that's the case, we are really screwed. I talk to Josie Wales every now and again. Oh really? Excellent. That's good to know. How's he doing? How's Josie Wales doing? I hope he's okay. True Ravens, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge. And some people literally that have been around for a long time, they got burned out of crypto. A lot of people got burned out. And there's a reason why. As soon as they have an Anthropic, the boot from the Pentagon, Altman stepped right in. You're damn right he did. So true. Some people are probably leaving because they're 45 minutes already. Whoa. Has it really been 45 minutes already? Holy smokes. That 2-hour candle's pulling up like it's supposed to. I mean, it's the perfect hold so far. It's been perfect hold candle so far. I mean, this 2-hour pull down wasn't exactly friendly, but this is part of the hold. You know, these are part of the consolidation candles. How could we say a minor bullish hammer? Could that be a bullish hammer here? A hammer candle? Even though it's red? In the short term? Just where it pulled up right now, at least. Oh yeah, Wales, Josie Wales, very, very smart, dude. Somebody was in here before a lot of the people in here now. Not all of you, but some of you. Nah, Frankie Fresh, you're smart in your own right. We all have our own knowledge. We all know what we know for a reason. And the rest of us, we're trying to evolve as well into being a little wiser. All I can say to that bright future freedom is they say one thing while doing another kind of thing. Got XDC well, I mean, technically there's still more room, but for me, I can only play my own plan now. Would I be surprised if it shot right over this? No, I would not. Because technically for my C wave, you know, I'm looking at a little bit more of an expansionary move. I'm doing things a little bit differently nowadays right now. So please don't just follow my lead on certain things. Now I'm really looking at this stuff on a grand scale because I don't see a breakdown yet. Algo, I'm glad somebody brought that up. It's on the outside of this descending wedge style setup. If you go all the way back in this pattern, and the fact it's over the top right now, this leads you to a technical target around 10 cents if this holds. Now the question is, can we hold? That's the big question here. That's the $1 million question on Bright Future Freedom. Where exactly is the money going? I don't think we'll ever actually truly know. Me too, Raymond. I'm too stupid to build a home. I can't even see good enough, unfortunately. I don't have the depth perception to line things up properly. Even when I paint, I can do a good job, but it gets a little finicky at times. The number one thing that I would change about myself is have good depth perception and have two eyes that work, kind of thing. But I wouldn't change anything, only because I was meant to be like this. So I guess it gave me I do the way I do things for a reason. But I wish I could see what other people see. And have the depth perception. I have no depth perception. Like, I walk into walls and I can't tell. I can't reach out for something like a normal person. Clam Bellies, OG, Crypto Cooter. What did Mike say? Love to see the fam on here with Tom. We are going to get rich here for the long haul. Been a crazy cycle and time to be in the markets. For sure. For sure. Yeah, a bunch of money out of gold and silver and crypto. Yes, sir. Tom, you have 2020 with the charts. Great, Paul. Yes, You know, that's the one thing I never lost was my sight up close. I can at least see that still every time I go to an eye doctor, which I try not to as often because I started to realize my eyes would get worse and worse as they were upgrading my prescription lens. So I'm trying to keep the same lens for as long as possible now. Maybe this will be the last one for a while. And I've noticed my sight doesn't get much worse if I keep the same. But anyhow, somebody said Tommy guns. Yeah, I haven't flexed yet. There. Here you go, Mike. Look at that work I've been putting in for you, sir. Look at that. That's all for you, Mike. Damn, it's actually looking pretty big today. Look at that. I feel pretty good for 42. That's a nice looking muscle. I can't even believe that's me. I can't believe that's me. Cannabis podcast. Not a whole lot. We've just been talking about the biggest thing that I would say is about Bitcoin to see if this holds because Bitcoin has had a breakout of the inverse head and shoulders and it back tested the neckline. So if that's the case, we're going to get a nice little rally in altcoins. Nice little rally in altcoins if this happens. Use the force, Tom. All you need is your third eye. And it's wide open. I agree with that. My third eye is very, very... My third eye does carry a lot of sight. A lot more than most. They tried to kill the third eye, but we won't let them. I don't know, guys. Do I dare do this? Because I don't want to send people to the wrong direction. But unless Bitcoin breaks down, this is what I'm feeling. Unless Bitcoin breaks down, I'm feeling this. But I don't really want to put this on because I can see it break down. That's why I haven't put it on, but that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah, XDC was up a good 10. That was why I kept calling that one out as a can't. I thought it was the best play on the board a couple days ago, and that's why I set this up in the way I did. Now, I still can see meat on the bones. I could. And I hope I didn't drive people out if they really wanted to be in it. But it's technically just starting that. A part of this breakout. Yes, it got oversold, so maybe there is going to be a 4% retest down here, maybe at 347. We're still under the 200-day, but when you go into the daily time frame and such, still got a lot of driving force on the way back up. The 200-day and the daily is way up there. And my C-wave expectation was up near 4 cents. Man, I don't know, guys. I don't care if Tom is right or wrong. I just want to see him do what he wants to do. I'm still riding XTC up for that. Not a bad play. Not a bad play. Plant good seeds, son of days indeed. Let's see. Don't every time you need to see. You don't need to see to build a home in 2026. Now, if we're talking 1984, then yeah, they would run you off. That's true. We have a lot of things that can help us line things up nowadays, can't we? Or don't we, I should say. XDC. I mean, algo. So for... This is the problem with the hat right now. Just as much as I could see it breaking up, you know, and I like where it's at, right? I do. I like where things are at the exact moment. But we have to be very vigilant to see if we do get a breakdown here because the markets are so freaking volatile. We've already had a push up here with Ethereum up to that resistance area that is still within this pennant, this bearish pennant. But we've held the back test of the first area. So what doesn't go down goes up. And if this is not a breakdown, this is where it gets interesting. If this isn't a breakdown, it's a break up. And that would put us right near that $2,400 level for Ethereum. If we go to 2,400 with Ethereum, these alts are going to go up 15%. They have to. Because they're so pushed down in the down direction right now, they would have to. They would have to. Could HBAR being starting to run a little bit quicker? It's a good question. The daily is in a pretty desirable position if it wants to make a move. V-chain, same way. And if you're going to be in them in these areas, you're going to want to be in them before they go up 10%. Oh no, I hear that, Mr. Stott. It's Bitcoin that keeps me optimistic right now because of that inverse pattern, but um, it hasn't run out yet. Obviously, we haven't run past the 200-day. It's just when you start lining up for Bitcoin, technically, you're looking for opportunity in the altcoin market or in the crypto market. If you see Bitcoin not only breaking out of an inverse pattern, but if you missed it on the initial burst, your next opportunity is when it backtests the neckline and holds. And right now, it has backtested and held in a firm double bottom. In fact, it pulled the right sound down farther. So if you want to talk about Gartleys, that would be considered a bullish Gartley. Excellent job, Shane. Excellent job. Gareth says, now this has been a nice or a fabulous live. Lots of technicals. Yes, that's right. At the beginning of this live, I said we're going to have to talk about a lot of technicals here. And my main driving focus right now is Bitcoin because until we break that down now, technically you have to flip short-term bullish unless that knocks it down. I mean, do we agree with that or am I off base? I would really love to know what everybody thinks. Do I sound like a fool or, I mean, does that make sense to everybody? And even H bar right now is on the top side on a big inverse head and shoulders. Like shoulder, head, shoulder. You've got an inverse head and shoulders within the head basically without that wick if you don't want to count it. But you do have it right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. This is the left shoulder on an inverse pattern. Head, right shoulder, but the head and right shoulder create inverse head and shoulders. Now we're back testing the neckline perfectly. Fucking A. Fucking A. That's all I can say, everybody. Damn. What have we gotten ourselves into now? And it almost makes too much sense here. Everybody thinks it's going to go down, especially with, you know, a lot of people. But I like how, another thing, I like how the crypto fear and greed index actually went down to 10 from 14 earlier. That actually makes me happy, but, you know, we just flipped. So we like to be cautious at the flip of the clock. We want to see if it is going to do any of that downward tugging. We want to see if we do get an overall confirmation here. Nothing's been confirmed. The only thing that's confirmed for us so far is we haven't given back the neckline, which is a great thing. It's a great thing to be in that kind of positioning. Phenomenal, to be honest. Algo, I still think, I don't, the one thing I don't like about Algo is how that daily time frame somehow pushed so far up. I mean, there's still a lot of room. Which means maybe if it did have a breakout, it wouldn't go much farther than that 10 or 15% or that technical move. The technical move right now, if this holds, is 10 cents. So everybody, I get asked if there's room there. There's room. There's 14 to 15% there if this breaks out. We want to look at the USDT dominance as well. We'd like to see it dump out. And we know it came back down. It's formed a symmetrical triangle in the shorter time when it pushed up. But overall, you could still say it's in almost like a descending wedge style or maybe a flag. But it has created that upward push. 15% across the board if this plays out would be my guess. If not, the bottom falls out. That's the scary part. That's why I don't want to keep this on. If not, the bottom falls out. But it's all up to Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is holding its end of the bargain. And it just dropped 100 points. Oh, he opened his eyes? Well, the good news is I'm 50... Oh, I'm an hour in already, Julie. How did that happen? I suppose so. I suppose so. Oh, great group on tonight. Hint, BDMD stock 10 to 20x from here. BDMD. Baird Medical. Ooh, down 11% today, too. Oh, holy shit. What the hell is this company? That's a nice descending drop. What the heck company is this? What kind of medical company is this? Call me intrigued based on what I'm seeing in front of me. Miss Jan, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Number for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. And being a very trusted mod in here, very popular member as well amongst the audience. And one of the ones I trust the most and has been here since, well, the beginning. Quad 8, follow the moon, welcome in. What was that? Okay. I'll be off in just shortly, okay? And then, so it broke out of a perfect Now look, this is what we're setting up in a lot of crypto. A similar descending wedge that things are breaking out of. That's just the first layer it got out of. Now we're building a multi-tier setup here. This is going to be very interesting. I like when people bring me something on the consolidation. Okay, so it had... You can see volume's picked up here. Clearly there's something going on because volume is picking up. Now the sell volume is something you want to pay attention to, but that sell volume is crashing now. So the price consolidated, but the volume's going down, which is a good recipe here for further expansion out after this consolidation ends. You need to know more about this company. What is this? BDMD. Some kind of medical company. Baird Medical Investments Holding. Together with its subsidies, engages in research, development, manufacturing, and sales of micro... Oh, boy. So you're getting bids all the way down at $2.31. It opened at $2.86. Right now it was at what, $2.48. Minimally invasive thyroid solution at upcoming U.S. clinical conference. Expansion in interventional thyroidology. Accelerates U.S. expansion. Oh. Oh, they're getting regulatory approval in other countries too. That means there's something big coming. Why else would they need approval for their product? That's a good sign with these medical companies, or these medical, for expansion. 3-year return down 75. This is exactly what you would expect. They're not going to be profitable until this goes to market. Sorry, I just try to absorb information. Plant Good Seas, welcome in. One market starting to slip a bit. Uh-oh. Well, that's why I always wait until after the flip of the clock to make a decision. Fair value 249, dividend score. Doesn't say, because it probably doesn't offer a dividend if I had to imagine. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. Could be some consolidation still to come because that was a big expansion out. First area of a back test would have been where that wick was at. So at least it hit that area. Probably come down and test the 20. How's it looking in the weekly? Oh, shit. Weekly's expanded out a lot. Oh, I would wait a second before I buy this. You very well could find yourselves down at $1. Back down to $1. With how overbought this is, this very well might come back down and test the breakout of that descending wedge. Maybe not $1. I would not be surprised. Hold on. Let's get an accurate. Fuck. So where would the sweets... If I was looking at this and said, okay, where would I take a shot? Well, I would look for the back test. Came all the way up, unless it holds the 200 EMA in the daily, but that seems far-fetched. Unless something big's going to happen, you're probably going to get a retest. Let me see the market slipping. I'm going to keep that on here, though. I'm going to keep that on here, and I'm going to watch that. You've called me fascinated by that. I'm taking a look. I'm checking my list, doing it twice. Don't want the fat man to get all upset. $1.35.67. Slipping a little bit is the right term. And this is what I was thinking likely for XDC, because I thought maybe, even if it had a continuation, that it would have to retest. Remember what I said in the beginning? Thinking it might have to retest. This right here is not exactly the best candle. That could be a sign of exhaustion in the area. The wick only pulled through a little bit, but if it's an inverted hammer, this should have pulled farther down, and you should not have had that violent of a wick pull through. And I understand it only came through from 352 to here, but now it takes the next couple of candles to confirm or deny whether or not this continues up unabated. And right now we've had such strong wick pullbacks. It would make sense for it to come down here and try to see how we react around the 349 area. Doesn't mean it has to, but that seems like what it wants to do. Fucking Bitcoin. How surprising would it be if it gave this back now? No, that you shouldn't be surprised, though, because we talked about the possible pull down to 67K earlier, even if it held. But this was a bearish... Right here, the bear stepped in when it tried to break out. These have just confirmed the bear stepping in as of right now. And we didn't have enough volume to push us over the top, at least in the 3-hourly. In the 4-hourly, pretty much the same. And although that right here is these two, that wick came down a little bit, but this almost looks like an inverted hammer. Now, an inverted hammer can be mistaken as a regular hammer, which just because it's inverted doesn't mean that it's going to break bullish. That means a lot of times that the bulls failed to break it through. The bear stepped in, but there was enough weight here to where there was enough buyers from bringing it down to a newer low. These look like possible hammer candles, even though they're red. Some of the more bullish hammer candles are actually red in nature because they have to fight out the bears. Man, but they're not so formidable, though. Yeah, it all depends on these next... It's basically the 3 candlestick approach now. She had 1, 2 failed both of these breakouts. The third one looks like a reversal. So, just be patient. Don't get yourself caught up. That's all. Sola Jeffy, good evening, my friend. I'm so glad to see you in here. Big Dog, thanks for the 99-cent super chat. That is super generous. Thank you so much. And also in times under 6+ months with the XP Predictor, I greatly appreciate that. And I can't believe after we did 2.5 hours earlier, now we're at 1 hour and almost 10 minutes. That's almost 4 hours alive time today. That's pretty incredible. Nick Nack says, my stairs going up. It's going to be a long one. Need an elevator. Uh-oh. Well, Bitcoin falling below 68K isn't friendly. What's going to happen with this stupid propagation? Are we going to get more expansion here or something and more? I don't know. S&P futures. Trump. Lower oil prices when I'm done with Iran is what he said. Lower oil prices when he's done with Iran. Maybe that's why the oil stocks didn't react properly if we're going to get a continued expansion. That was just strange how it worked out. They barely moved. They barely moved. Oil. It's held so far, this little breakout area. I'll be interested to see how all this plays out in the next day or two. The SBIT, which is the ultra short Bitcoin ETF, was up 2.5% today, and after hours it's almost up 1%. Ethereum's dropped over 1% now since the flip. Algo down 1.16. IOTA down 1.32. H-bar gave back that 1%. It was up. Now it's down 0.12. V-Chain's down almost 1%. XDC's down 1.16, but it had a 10 to 11% move during the day. So that would be to expect it, a little bit of contraction. XLM down 1/3 of 1%. XRP down 1/2 of 1%. Bitcoin down about 1/2 of 1%. Or no, just over 1/2. Yeah, 1/2 of 1%, roughly. Yeah, China said that they would. I seen that too. China said that they would lend missiles and all this other stuff to help them continue. Now, what is the thoughts of like expansion into nuclear kind of style war? I keep having that question in my head. And also, as we get closer to April, what's the best path for them to lock us down? That's the other question. Would war lock us down? Would they say that all the terrorists in our country that they've let in voluntarily, all the cells, would they say that that's why they have to lock us down? I'm honestly interested to know. I don't know if anyone has the balls right now. Well, sometimes when the balls are walking around too big, they get squashed. But my voice, guys, I'm gonna have to end this. I've done 4 hours of lives today, and my voice has definitely taken a hit. I can feel it. I don't wanna ruin it for the rest of the week, but we had a lot of talk time, and then I had 2 lives yesterday. I did my class yesterday, so there's been a lot of talk time here. Yeah, Garrus, I'll be here tomorrow morning. It just might be a little bit different because my son, he has a GI appointment in the morning, not out in Grand Rapids, but out at his GI doctor closer to home where they check him in between his visits. So they're going to just make sure the site's good. They're going to get his weight and everything. It's usually about a 10-minute appointment. It's not very long. And then he'll go to school after, assuming he's in the right mental state, which he was mad last time we came home after. I'll update all of you, and then I'll come home, and I'm going to do a live. And then I have my class after. But I still want to do a live in the morning. So I'll do a short, go to his GI, drop him off at school. And then I'll see you guys, hopefully, if everything goes good. His appointment's at 8:30. Hopefully we'll be out of there by 8:45. Like, it's a super quick appointment, and he's doing good right now, so I don't expect any problems. He doesn't have any bad, like, infections or anything like that at the site or anything bad. So I expect it'll be a quick one. And as long as we get him to school and everything, I should be back here 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. I'll do 45 minutes to an hour in the live. I'm going to give myself a day off, I think, from working out tomorrow just because it's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And then on Thursday, it's going to be interesting as well. We have his IEP at school for next year's, for next year. I don't know if he's going to still be in kindergarten, if they're going to move him in the first grade. I have no idea how that's going to work because, he's special needs and he works at his own pace and things like that. But that's on Thursday at 11 a.m. Those are usually pretty quick as well. But I'm going to do a live before, get my workout in and everything, and then we'll do that. So it's going to be a busy couple of days, but I'm still going to be here just as much. If something changes dramatically, I'll do a short tonight on XRP, or if it looks like we're breaking out as well. You know, so other than that, I thank each and every one of you for all your support. Consider joining the channel at the very least. Hit that subscribe button. As we lost a member today. We lost a member. Not a paid member. I'm talking like we lost an actual subscriber to the channel, so I must have pissed somebody off with what I said earlier, which, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I thought this was a great live.